Dividing fractions with bar models. This is a digital lesson, and it starts with whole number models so students can get the hang of how this works. So we've got just a basic 8 divided by 2. So you've got 8 sections in this bar model, and you're going to divide them into groups of 2. So students are going to use the fill color feature of Google Slides. They're going to click and hold in one of the squares, and they're just going to scroll across until they've highlighted 2, because they're dividing by 2. So they can come up here to fill color. They can use any color they like, but we want every section to be a different color. So we're dividing this into sections of 2. Then I'm going to click and hold, scroll across 2 more, pick a different color, and do the same thing all the way across. Okay, now they can see that if they take 8 and divide it into equal groups of 2, they get 4 groups. And so that's their answer, 4. 4 different groups of 2. Next slide, another model, this one 9 divided by 3, so they've got 9 squares here in their bar. They're going to divide it into groups of 3s. So this time they're going to scroll across, highlight 3s. And again, make sure all 3 are different colors. So they can see here that they've divided their 9 into 3 groups of 3. So their answer is 3. And they just type in a 3 in the square. Now we're going to go to fraction models. So here's a model of 8 ninths divided by 2 ninths. So there's actually 9 ninths here because 9 ninths makes a whole. But we want to first highlight 8 ninths, 8 of these squares. So they're going to click and hold, and they're going to scroll across until they've highlighted 8. And they're just going to choose one color. Now they want to divide this yellow section, which is 8 ninths, into groups of 2 ninths. So we're going to take every 2, highlight them a different color. We can leave that one yellow. And now they can see of the 8 ninths, there are 4 different groups. So 8 ninths divided by 2 ninths is 4, whole number 4. So it's a lot of fun for the students, and they can practice using Google Slides. Now we have 4/6 divided by 2/6. Well, they first want to find what 4/6 is. So they click and hold until they cover 4 squares. So they can see that that is 4 out of 6, 4/6, and we want to divide them into groups of 2/6. So every 2 will be a different color. Now we can see that there are 2 groups, so our answer is 2. And we're going to do this again with 6/8 divided by 3/8, 9/12 divided by 3/12. And then when they get to the last one, this one's a little bit tricky. So we want to see what 7 ninths is. So they're going to highlight 7 ninths. And we want to put them in groups of 3 ninths. So here's 3. We're going to put a different color. It's one section of 3 ninths. There's another section of 3 ninths. And then we get a little bit left over. So let's take a look at what we have left over. So out of 7 ninths, we have 2 groups plus 1/3. You can see that this is 1/3, so it's 1 out of 3 in this last section. So our answer is going to be 2 and 1/3. Now students are going to be looking at the next slide. We're going to show them what they've already found in previous slides. We found that 8 ninths divided by 2 ninths is 4. But if we look at this multiplication problem, 8 ninths times 9 over 2, we also get 4. 6/8 divided by 3/8 is 2, And we know that 6/8 times 8/3 is also 2. So students are going to look for the pattern here. And the pattern is if we have division by fractions, we take the second fraction, we're going to invert it, change it to multiplication, we'll get the same answer. So that gives us a method for dividing fractions called invert and multiply. So when dividing fractions, take the second fraction, invert it or flip it upside down, and then multiply. So students are going to use that rule on the very last slide. They're going to invert and multiply, and they want to make sure also that they simplify their answers. So that is a digital lesson on dividing fractions with bar models.